Hey everyone, I'm Mark Morgan, and today we're going to get new players started on the trumpet. Some of the students that I work with are beginning players who are just getting started in their band program. So today we're going to look at how to hold the horn, how to breathe correctly, how to make a sound, and learn how to play a full chromatic scale. When we hold the horn, we want to feel like it's secure and balanced in our hands. Let's start with the left hand and place the thumb in the saddle above the first slide. We're going to wrap our first two fingers around the valve casing and put our ring finger through the ring above the third valve slide. The goal is to be able to move your first and third valve slides by extending your fingers, so you don't want to have your palm pressed up against the valve casing. With your right hand, you want to act like you're holding a tennis ball. You're going to hold this position and place the thumb between the first and second valve. Your fingers are going to curl over and touch the valve caps or finger buttons. Your pinky is going to rest on top of the hook or pinky ring. Now, one thing you want to watch out for is playing with flat fingers over the valves. When you do this, you're pushing the valves down at an angle which could cause them to stick. The valves need to move up and down in a straight line, and curling your fingers is going to ensure that they move in the correct motion. The trumpet is a wind instrument, so it takes moving air to make a sound. How we breathe and move air directly affects the tone we produce. So if you take in a small amount of air and restrict it by playing too tight, it'll sound like this. But if you relax, take in a low, deep breath, it'll sound like this. To get that feeling of relaxation without raising your shoulders, think of a balloon at the bottom of your stomach. When you fill up a balloon, it expands from the bottom up. We want to imagine filling up that balloon with air and letting that air out in an easy and controlled manner. But when you breathe in and are filling up your balloon, you don't want to force the air in and act like you're breathing in through a straw. All you need to do is relax your jaw and slowly breathe in without making a sound like this. Now notice that my shoulders didn't really move. My stomach is the only thing that expanded out. This might seem a little unusual for beginning players, so you'll definitely need to practice this. But pretty soon it'll become automatic and you'll be doing it every time you breathe. The only thing left to do is release the air. To do this, I like to tell my students to say the word poo. And this is because it puts our lips in the correct playing position. So now we're going to breathe in and release all of our air through that poo position. So now that we know how to hold the horn and how to breathe correctly, let's start making some sounds. We're going to start with our mouthpiece, but we need to find the right spot on our lips to place the mouthpiece. The general rule is to try to place the mouthpiece on 50% of our upper lip and 50% of our bottom lip. But more importantly, the rims of your lips need to be inside the rim of the mouthpiece. Take your finger and feel where the rims of your upper and lower lips are. And you can even use a mirror while you do this. Now place the mouthpiece on your lips, making sure that the rims of your lips are inside the rim of the mouthpiece. Everyone has different facial features, with some people having thicker or fuller lips and some people have thinner lips. But for the people who have fuller lips, you might need to roll your lips in slightly to get the rim of the lips inside the rim of the mouthpiece. When we play below the rim or on the pink part of the lip, it reduces our endurance, our tone, flexibility, and even our range. The slightest amount of pressure will cause that vibration in the lips to stop. That's why it's extremely important to set up the right way from the beginning. So with our mouthpiece set correctly, blow air through the mouthpiece and bring the lips together until a sound is made, like this. Now you don't have to spend a ton of time buzzing on the mouthpiece. But you do need to start off your practice session with this every day to get your lips and your air working correctly. Now that we have an understanding of how to produce a sound on the mouthpiece, let's amplify that on the trumpet. We're going to start by learning 7 notes, but we're not going to learn the note names just yet. That'll come later. Instead, we're going to learn 7 positions. Position 1 is going to be with no valves pushed down. Position 2 is going to be with the second valve pushed down. Position 3 is the first valve. Position 4 is with the first 2 valves. Position 5 is with the second and third valves. Position 6 is with the first and third valves. And position 7 is with all 3 valves. Practice pushing these valves down in order until you have it memorized. This is going to be extremely helpful later on when we start actually playing notes. So the first note we're going to play is position 1, and it's the lowest note you can play with open valves, and it sounds like this. The next note, position 2, is right below that note, just a half step away, and that sounds like this. Each note we play in the series gets a little bit lower as we go on. The lower we go, the air has to slow down just a little bit in order for it to sound. So think of fogging up a window on a cold day. You're going to use slow, warm air on those really low notes. And it might be a little bit difficult at first to come right in on those really low notes like position 5, 6, or 7. But what you can do is play the note right before it and then slur into that note from the note above. Once you get all of those notes to sound, start connecting all of them. Start on position 1, then slur into position 2, position 3, and so on until you get all the way down to position 7. We're going to call this the low 7 positions. And once you can slur from position 1 to position 7 continuously, work on playing it in reverse from low position 7 up to low position 1. A good goal to have is to be able to play these notes down and up in a continuous cycle. Start slowly at first and breathe whenever you need to. It's always better to play accurate and slow rather than sloppy and fast. Eventually, you'll be able to build up speed and play these multiple times in one breath. Next, we're going to learn 7 more notes. But here's the thing. These 7 notes have the exact same positions as the previous 7 notes. All we're going to do is start on a higher note. This might be a little tricky at first, but all you have to do is speed up your air to get that top note to sound. We're going to approach these higher 7 notes just like we did with the low 7 notes and play each note individually like a long tone. Then we're going to connect each note playing them down and up. And finally, we're going to play them in a cycle. We're going to call this the high 7 positions. After you become comfortable playing these 2 sets of positions independently, we're going to start connecting them. Once you play from the high 1 position down to the high 7 position, the next note would be a low 1, starting the low 7 series. And one thing to remember is to connect all the notes by slurring them. You can work on tonguing notes later, but it's easier to get these notes to speak by using a slur. The goal is to connect both sets of positions seamlessly without stopping or hesitating. So by practicing this way, what you've done is to learn an entire chromatic scale. The next step would be to go back and learn all of the note names. If you have a smartphone, there's a great app that's free called 2D Trumpet Fingering Chart. This app not only shows you the fingerings for each note, but it also plays the note for you in case you're unsure if you're on the right note or not. Guys, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. If you like the content here, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button, but also leave me a comment in the section below letting me know how this technique worked for you. Until next time, keep practicing, and I'll see you soon with another quick and easy trumpet tip.